welcome once again to my YouTube chemistry channel, Amazing Chemistry Classes. I'm your host, your friend, Dr. Rohit, an educator by profile, a senior scientist. So today we are going to discuss about organic chemistry topic that is your enantiomers. What are enantiomers? How can we distinguish between enantiomers and diastereomers? So let's start with the video. I hope you guys are doing well in your exams and you must be having healthy and safe at your home. So let's start this video. So what are enantiomers? Let me read out the first definition, then I will explain. It is one of the two stereoisomers that are mirror images of each other and superimposable are called enantiomers. So as you can see, these are these two structures which I have given over here, that is R lactic acid and S lactic acid. Both are what? Both are a mirror image of each other. So I hope you guys understand. Once you are standing in front of a mirror, so you can see your image. Similarly here also you can see these two structures are mirror image of each other, but they are non-superimposable. Means if you try to keep one R lactic acid over S lactic acid, so they are not superimposed. वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर exactly similar way में cover up नहीं कर सकते. So these structures are known as enantiomers. Example is SR and S lactic acid. Now talking about diastereomers. Diastereomers are those isomers which are non-mirror images and non-superimposable. So here you can see both the structures are not they are superimposable and they are not the mirror images. So these are known as diastereomers. Now talking about the reaction mechanism, how reaction will happen. So they are basically, the reaction mechanism proceeds with the bond fission. So breaking of a covalent bond is called bond fission. There are two type of, that is homolytic and heterolytic. First we talk about the homolytic fission. Breaking of a covalent bond in such a way that both the atoms or species retain one electron each. Here you can see, in this I have given an example of symmetrical way of homolytic fission. So suppose I have taken an example of A2 molecule, any A2, that is ethane. So both are having ethane is having two methyl group. So when it get fission, so there will be a formation of methyl free radical, and both the methyl free radicals are identical to each other. Now talking about reaction mechanism, that is the bond fission. So breaking of a covalent bond is called bond fission. So two type of, that is homolytic and heterolytic. Homolytic fission, it results in the formation of free radicals, short-lived, unstable and highly reactive species, and it takes place in the presence of UV light, high temperature, peroxide or sunlight. So now moving on to the next one, that is your heterolytic fission. In heterolytic fission, breaking of a covalent bond in such a way that one of the atom or species retain a pair of electron. In homolytic it is not like that, but in heterolytic there is a formation of ion formation. So what happened here, you can see, suppose there is a compound AB, so it gets splitted out into cation and anion in the presence of polar solvent, and it also depending upon the electronegativity also. Now talking about heterolytic fission, here I have written that it results in the formation of ions, that I already told you that a positively charged ions is known as cation and the negatively charged ion are known as anions. So what is the difference between homolytic and heterolytic fission? In homolytic fission, it results in the it forms when covalent bond breaks symmetrically, and heterolytic bond forms when the covalent bond breaks unsymmetrically. Each species retain one shared electron from shared electron pair in homolytic fission, whereas in heterolytic, the more electronegative atom retain the shared pair of electrons, so it results in the formation of anions and cations in case of heterolytic fission. In homolytic fission, electrically neutral or free radicals are formed which carry an odd electrons, whereas in heterolytic fission, electrically charged ion, that is a formation of cations or anions, takes place. Next point is homolytic fission always takes place in the presence of sunlight, UV light. However, heterolytic fission, it takes place in the presence of polar solvent. Now talking about the reagents which are useful. So the electrophilic reagent, electrophilic means electron loving reagents. First point is electron loving, second is your electron deficient species, because they are electropositive and they are looking for electrons, so they are known as electrophiles. They attract the site of high electron density because they themselves are positively charged, that is why they are looking for a negative, that is the electron pair. So itself it says that itself it is a positively charged and it is looking for a electron pair. Next is they possesses an atom with incomplete octet. They are Lewis acids. They accept an electron pair from the substrate to form a covalent bond. Here you can see I have given an example of H plus ion, nitronium ion, boron trifluoride, aluminum chloride. These are all examples of Lewis acids. Now talking about the nucleophilic reagents, these are the nucleus loving because they themselves are negatively charged. They carry a lone pair of electrons, that is why they are electron rich species, and they attack the site of a low electron density, that is they are generally looking for a positive nucleus site. So they may be negatively charged or neutral molecules and they possess an atom with a lone pair of electrons. Here I have given an example of nucleophilic reagents also, and they are also known as Lewis bases because they carry a lone pair of electrons. They can donate the electron pair to the substrate and form a coordinate or covalent bond. The most important examples are like cyanoions, hydroxyions, ammonia, water molecule. Water is considered as a neutral molecule. Now reaction intermediates, first we are going to talk about carbonium ion, that is carbocation. So what are carbocations? Carbocations are the carbon atoms that are positively charged. They are electron deficient species. The carbon atom possesses 6 electrons in its outermost shell and they are sp2 hybridization. Its shape is triangular planar. Now talking about carbonium ion, that is carbocation. As you can see, there is a tertiary carbocation, then secondary carbocation, followed by primary and methyl ion. So this is the sequence or order of the stability of carbonium ion, where I have shown the stability order. So as you can see in tertiary carbocation, there is a hindrance also, and it results in the, because methyl group, they are positive, they show the positive inductive effect, that is they force the lone of electron at the center atom. That is why tertiary carbocations are more stable than secondary, than primary and methyl group. It can accept an electron pair from a nucleophile to form a covalent bond, and it is a Lewis acid. Example is tertiary butyl carbocation. So greater stability of all carbocation, that is tricyclopropyl carbocation, is more stable than dicyclopropyl carbocation. Then tropylium ion, followed by triphenyl carbocation and diphenyl carbocation, phenyl carbocation. So this is the sequence बच्चा, आप लोगों को इसका snapshot लेना है and try to memorize this sequence because this is very important. On this basically slide you can get n number of questions in your competitive exams as well as in your board exams. So this is very important to solve the problems of the stability order. Many times question comes in your exam also regarding the carbocation stability order. Now talking about carbon ion, carbon atom that is negatively charged, it carries electron pair, that is why they are electron rich species, and it is sp3 hybridization and it carries a lone pair of electron. Its shape is pyramidal. It can donate electron pair to electrophile to form a covalent bond. It is a Lewis base. The stability order is methyl anion, then ethyl anion, then secondary you can see that is propyl anion, followed by tertiary butyl anion. Isobutyl followed by tertiary butyl. First is primary, then methyl. So this sequence is exactly opposite to your carbocation in terms of stability. Now the stability order of a different carbon ion, here you can see that is your sp hybridized is more stable than sp2 followed by sp3. And moving on to the allyl and benzyl carbon ions, if we talk about allyl and benzyl carbon ions, through primary or more stable than the simple primary alkyl carbon ion due to the resonance. Here you can see there is a resonance hybridization, because of which what happened, the sequence of stability you can see, that is triphenyl carbon ion is more stable than diphenyl followed by your benzylium anion. So this is the sequence you can see. So triphenyl, there are 3 aromatic rings, because of which what happened, the electron shift will be there, followed by your 2 phenyl ring, followed by a 1 phenyl ring. Here you can see I have given an example of anisole and nitro compound, nitro derivative of aromatic ring. The stability order you can see here, the methoxy anion is more stable than your benzyl anion, followed by a nitro derivative. Because nitro derivative is actually they withdraw the electron, and they, because of which there is a deficiency of electron in the aromatic ring. However, methoxy group, it repels the electron pair and it shows positive I effect, because of which there is electron density over the ring. So that is why this is the sequence of stability order of anions in aromatic ring. Now talking about carbon free radicals, so these are the species which are having trivalent carbon atom bearing no charge and having odd number of electron pair or unpaired electron is known as free radicals. These free radicals are highly reactive species due to the presence of odd or unpaired electrons. These free radicals are electron deficient species, hence these can be considered as neutral electrophiles, and in methyl free radical it can undergo sp2 hybridization. Here I have given an examples also for the stability of free radicals, that is your triphenyl methyl is more stable than your benzyl, followed by allyl, and then that is your tertiary, secondary and primary, then your methyl and vinyl. So this is the stability order of a free radicals. So these are also very important sequence where you can get number of questions on your board exam as well as in your competitive. So you guys can take a snapshot also. बच्चों बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये सीक्वेंस आपको, चाहे वो कार्बोकेटाइंस का हो, चाहे वो कार्बेनाइंस का हो, चाहे वो फ्री रेडिकल्स का हो. आई होप मैंने इस वीडियो में आप लोगों के लिए बहुत अच्छा कंटेंट कवर अप किया है, एंड आई कैन एश्योर यू अगर आप लोगों को इस पर थोड़ा भी डाउट है, आप लोग अटेम्प्ट नहीं कर पाओगे क्वेश्चंस को. So these are the basics of organic chemistry which you need to learn from your heart, and these are self-explanatory slides. So I feel there will not be any difficulty to make you understand. So thank you so much. And as I always said, do share and subscribe my channel and share these videos to those who are not able to afford एक्सपेंसिव कोचिंग सेंटर्स एंड ट्यूशन. सो आई एम ऑलवेज देयर फॉर यू. अगर बच्चों आप लोगों को किसी भी केमिस्ट्री टॉपिक फॉर क्लास 9, 10th, 11th, 12th आपको डिफिकल्टीज है, यू गाइज कम ऑन माई channel of YouTube, that is Amazing Chemistry Classes, and you can write down. I am there for you. I will upload the videos as much as I can for board exams, for any competitive exam. If you have any doubt, you guys directly contact me on my mail ID also, that is rst_chakravarty@yahoo.com. So I'm residing in Noida. In case you guys want an online classes also, you can contact me. Thank you so much. Keep watching my videos.